What's up, everybody? Rothstein here, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson. Today's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. Please like and subscribe to the channel, leave comments, share the video, okay? I won't hold you too long. Just know that we got some sports betting action on Saturday. Got some advice of some couple games on Saturday. I'll have that for you Saturday morning, all right? But I want to talk about this Tony Clark situation. For those of y'all who don't know, Tony Clark, he's the Major League Baseball Players Association director, basically the union rep for Major League Baseball players. And baseball had to let him go just a couple of days ago because it was discovered that he was he was messing around with, involved in an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law. That Tony Clark hired to do a job in baseball. Now, it hasn't been clearly defined if it's his wife's sister or it's his brother's wife. But nonetheless, this is a trifling nigga. You trifling, Tony. You know, and not only are you trifling, you a dickhead. Because 9 months from now, baseball, this is a bargaining season for them, a collective bargaining season. And if they don't come up with a deal within 9 months, all these baseball players will be basically laid off. You know, and, no free agency, nothing. And you out here banging I was told it was your brother's wife. And you out here banging your brother's wife. What kind of, boy, you need, what my man Will Mills be saying? Pack you up, son. Pack you up. Like, you're a dickhead for that. You should be focused on getting them players a CBA agreement, because what are they arguing over? Salary cap and shit like that? You should be getting these players an agreement, but instead you banging somebody close to your family. Like I said, I saw like Bomani Jones and Dominique Foxworthy. See, this is what I don't like about them. I mean, it was cute for a minute because they were talking about it matters if it was the wife's sister or the brother's wife. Then they just start getting too esoteric about it. They just don't know how to shut the fuck up. They get overstated and whatnot, but I digress on them. But it's like either way, Tony, I remember him playing. Tony Clark, I want to say he was a good 6'3", 6'4". First baseman. I want to say he played for Detroit. That was like when he made all his noise, Detroit. Maybe another team or two. But I remember him playing for Detroit, and it was like, dude, you made good coin in the league, and you're making good coin now. All the women in the world that's willing to give up that box to you, just on the simple fact that you're 6'4", and then add to the fact that you got a bag, all the women in the world who are willing to give it up to you, you go pick out somebody in your family. Somebody in your family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you might be worse than Sharon Moore. You might be worse than him. And in fact, you are. But, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You're in the front runner. You're in the driver's seat for 2026 Asshole of the Year. You're in the driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? Tony Clark, because not only should you be focused on your baseball players, it's just like there's just certain lines you don't cross. You've crossed lines, broke rules with that. I've got one brother we're 10 years apart. But, like, I just couldn't imagine, taking down his wife and him not knowing about it. Things like that, behind his back like that. I just couldn't imagine doing that to my brother. My wife, that's another thing, too. It's like, if I'm going to cheat on my wife, I'm not going to cheat on her sister. It's like, why don't you just marry her sister? I know a guy who was messing around with his wife's sister. Nobody thought about it. Nobody was thinking about it until the funeral, till he passed, his funeral. The way the sister was breaking down at his funeral was like, oh, wait a minute. Was they blah, blah, blah? Never been confirmed, but it's like her behavior at the funeral was so suspect that it's like they had to be. And it's just, I just don't understand why people cross these lines and break these rules. Especially a dude like, he he's keeping it close to the family. No, he's not. He's now one thing they did say, Dominique Foxworthy and Bomani Jones, it might have even been them, but one thing that was said was that, okay, it matters because if he's doing the wife, if he's cheating on his wife's, with her sister, now only one person's upset, the wife. If he's doing it with his brother's wife, now two people are upset, his brother and his wife. And it's like, Tony, fix baseball first. Sorry, I just ate, little crumb just came back up. And personally, I don't want to come off as a dude who like laughing at him or nothing like that. But I've emailed him twice about a project I'm trying to do in baseball. The nigga won't reply to my emails. Him, nobody in his crew, nobody from baseball, nobody from his office just to tell me that they read it. You go on the internet, you can look up his email address and tell her how to find him. And homie won't respond to me. And it's just like, I know I'm a nobody, but at least, send me a form letter. Something, it's like, you a goofball. I'm kind of glad you going down like this because you owed me just a reply, just acknowledgement of that we got your email, something. I'm not gonna put out there what I was trying to do until I do it, But now I know why that possibly why I wasn't getting a response from the players union because he was too busy fucking. Tony, and then with the Black American situation in baseball, this is what you do? As a Black American, this is what you do? Like pro athletes, that's the thing though. Pro athletes, they don't lose that competitive fire. They continue to fuck around. That's why you hear all them retired jocks at ESPN getting in trouble. But hey, that's all I got for today. Like I said, be ready for Saturday. I got some action for you. Another video coming out about Cam Newton. Remember I told you about Cam Newton when he's talking about that how he doesn't have any female friends? Well, came back to bite him in the ass. We'll talk about it on another video. But until then, everybody be safe. Peace.